Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Today is Friday, March 9th, 2018. Happy Friday. We have a pretty interesting discussion today. Lots of discussion on continued retaking of Europe throughout World War II. But the first question looks at, this is from Wednesday as well, do you believe that Roosevelt's logic in helping Britain first was correct? Why or why not? Last Wednesday we went over the bill and you're looking at, this past Wednesday, excuse me, not last month, but this past Wednesday we looked at whether or not attacking Germany first was the right call with the fact that Japan just attacked Pearl Harbor. So, we looked at the reasons behind that. There are different examples we saw. There's a video on Tuesday you watched as a class, and then we went over some of the notes on Wednesday talking about what we need to do to try to help Britain from a supply standpoint. So was this the correct move in your opinion? Why not? And we gave our opinions about that. So if you have your Boeing, you get that, and you can turn that in when you get back to school. Then we move onward to talking about the notes when it comes to Italy. All right. I'll put all these up here so you can copy these down, but I'll explain that. After the battles for North Africa, obviously we pushed the Germans across into Sicily and then in Italy. We take both of those areas. However, Sicily is a little bit easier with General Patton taking the island of Sicily. However, when we move our assault into mainland Italy, it becomes very difficult when we reach the midway point at Monte Cassino. This is a monastery on top of a mountain in Italy that is pretty much going to stop the Allied assault up the coast, up the northern parts of Italy, because they have the high ground and the artillery that the Germans use, and they turn it into a fortification essentially that blocks us from getting past. We can't break through without having to bypass it or get flanked behind. So something we're trying to avoid. We want to take the mountaintop, and it takes us a while to do that. However, another Allied regiment decides that they're going to invade the beaches at Anzio. And then here, if you look at the map here, you can see Sicily where they go up, Salerno, Naples. Here's Cassino where we are halted, and then Anzio is right here. So they decided to go up the western coast of Italy, go up to Anzio, invade those beaches. The problem for us, go back here. Problem for us is that we are blocked off the beach not for 1, 2, or 3, but for 4 months. We sustain heavy losses while on the beach. They dig trenches. They have to deal with a lot of German artillery fire from fortified positions at Anzio. However, after these 4 months, the invasion forces finally break through. They outlast the Germans, who are pretty poorly supplied later on after the 4 months is up. And they meet up with the Cassino troops, and they take Rome eventually after that. So this battle becomes, a pretty easy campaign for Italy. And there's still some American lives lost, and it's still war. It's still brutal. But from a standpoint of timing, this is relatively fast. The fact that we take, on July of 1943, Sicily, go up the coast, get to Messina. Then we go invade on September of 43, several months later. You look at that, that's probably a 2-month change. You see the divisions invading at Salerno. And then finally in January of 1944, which is several months after that, we take Anzio. And then Rome follows probably by February or March. All right, so it's relatively simple and quick. Actually, January is invaded by April, May, where we broke through Anzio, and probably by June, May and June of that year, 1944, is when we probably take Rome. So, the speed in which this happens, in less than a year, we go out through the entire area, all the Nazis that are in control of this territory in Italy, you can see that it's a very difficult, task, but we do it relatively fast. So, you can kind of see, how Italy, relates here. But this battle is definitely one of the more deadlier battles, throughout for the Germans especially. And notice that the Italians are not fighting here. We're fighting Nazis in Italy, not Italians, but Nazis. So it kind of goes to show that Benito Mussolini is found by individuals within a different party of Italy, people who are upset with how he's leading the country. They take him, they kill him, and then they hang his body out for the entire people, pretty much not the entire people, but the entire world to see what they thought. All right, so definitely something that when you see this begin, the Italians are definitely very, very upset with Mussolini and how they are able to, how he's able to lead. So they don't like that at all. Now, continuing, this is kind of what we talked about. There's no notes on this stuff. So, but Hitler desperately needs resources. When he loses North Africa, when he loses Italy, when he loses all these different territories, he's losing a ton of resources. He needs to find new ways to get at these resources. Well, Russia is known as a vast economic space. So Hitler decides he's going to break his pact with Stalin and begin some of the bloodiest fighting during the war. Some of this fighting, which takes place in the city of Stalingrad. You can see the Volga River here, up and down. You see the city, how it kind of, considers and continues to look. And you have the Russians from the east pushing westward across the Volga and going into the city of Stalingrad, which is heavily fortified by the Germans. There's a movie out about this. It's on your Canvas page also today. I'll kind of show it to you here. If you go down and you see it, there's a movie out about this. It's called Enemy at the Gates. All right. And with Enemy at the Gates, you can see here on this video, you just watch this video, it kind of shows you how Russians fought this war. And there's a reason why the Soviet forces lose over 20 million throughout this war. It's bloody fighting. The Russians do not train their soldiers. They do not even bother to give them all weapons because they only see them as pawns for the overall total victory that's going to be, taken credit for by Stalin. So definitely something that we want to try to look at here. And you watch this video. This is an adaptation of the war in the city of Stalingrad. And kind of see how this plays out. All right, so check this out. You have my YouTube video now. I'll put this up. I'll post it. Make sure you're good to go. If you have any questions, don't be afraid to come see me. All right, everybody have a fantastic day and have a great weekend. Don't forget to come see the musical this weekend.